right. So, did you guys watch the boxing on Saturday? AJ,
Yep. Yeah.
did Conor McGregor steal the show?
He's got that main character syndrome, isn't it? He has to be the star of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad for the KSI call out though.
Of course.
I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. It was great publicity. It was great.
Yeah, it was definitely great. Is he all there?
Oh,
No.
he's not all there. He's not all there. No. Look, I think there's clear issues, but we'll take it, right? Like, if you're going to call out KSI, that's great promo for everything that is going on with Misfits. But for me, he's like, he's supposed to be the OG. Like, he's supposed to be the one who's like, well done, kid. Like, and yet he's treating KSI as his equal. I think that shows mentally how far he's fallen.
Or how far JJ's risen.
A bit of both. Yeah. Because when you look back at that original video, them playing UFC together, like, JJ is still that like gamer nerd, and and now it's just like he's calling him out. I mean, it's just mental, right? But it's great.
Yeah, it's great. Who wins in a boxing match?
It's an interesting one. I think KSI will be the favorite. Maybe.
You think so?
So he's a bigger guy. He's a bigger guy. He's a bigger man.
Another thing for me though is like the skills is really a difficult one to talk about. But the things I know are KSI would be bigger, stronger, and fitter. Because Conor McGregor is an 8-minute man, and he runs out of energy. Like, there's no knockout power in Conor McGregor after 3 rounds. So, if JJ is still there in 3 rounds, I think he absolutely piles it on him.
What do you guys think McGregor weighs right now? He looks quite big.
Now he's big, but he's just juiced up, isn't it?
To the gills.
He's still a little man though. Like, if you look at there's a video from like quite away from where he's trying to force the pint down AJ's throat, and you see KSI is just a bigger guy completely.
Yeah, he's it's interesting. I think Logan came at him as well, but that would be a hard fight to make in terms of the weight difference, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
I don't think Conor will ever get in a ring with any of those guys. Because for him, his legitimacy is everything, and if he lost that in the way, like, let's not forget, he struggled like hell with Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz was comfortably beaten by Jake Paul. So I don't think he, ego-wise, would ever risk his reputation to a YouTuber. I don't think he'd stay. He can't step in the octagon right now, but I doubt he'd get in there with a YouTuber.
I mean, the money would be unbelievable.
The money would be crazy. Yeah, that's what it has to be. The money has to be so crazy.
He's a businessman, his mom's Taylor. I love it.
I mean, I'm talking about Conor.
Yeah, but I mean, Conor's got money, right? Like, how much money makes his? I think it's competition that it's the ego that whets his appetite more than he'd probably make money wherever he went, right?
Yeah,
he'd make money wherever he goes, but him against KSI is a big money maker.
Oh, it's massive.
I mean,
where would you hold that event if that event was to happen? Where would you hold it? Dublin.
Do it in Dublin.
Yeah.
Do it wherever he wants, but I think it's a doable fight. I think there's his managers.
What might make this easier, Mums, is if that leg just is never going to be able to take those like Justin Gaethje leg kicks.
Yeah.
If Conor's like, look, I just can't do MMA with the state my legs in, but I can box. That may be the thing that gets Dana to go, yeah, all right, then we'll get in the boxing game with you then.
Yeah, I mean, Dana made good money from the Floyd fight. They all made great money from that, and I think it's a possibility. Let's see. I think first hurdle is Tommy Fury, which is a nice sized hurdle in the first place.
Yep.
But that's a harder hurdle for sure.
Yeah, it's which fight is bigger though?
Oh, Conor. Conor's the biggest.
Conor by far.
Conor.
Yeah.
he's still a massive draw. So I think at the end of the day that fight makes sense. And I know, again, BJ, you being on this call always is going to bring this up, or at least once every call. But you know, I think there is some level of satisfaction in terms of we couldn't get the Jake fight, we tried, and because of that, Tommy Fury. JJ beats Tommy Fury, fights Conor McGregor, who Jake always wanted to fight. KSI's mind is he's got to get some satisfaction from that as well. It's natural. I mean, just like Jake has in the past, you know. So it's a difficult one because I know Dana doesn't get along with Jake's manager at all. So
they hate each other.
That fight was probably never anyway, you know. But yeah, they don't like each other.
I mean, as far as that goes, I feel like as far as regards to that and Dana and the relationship Prime has with the UFC, obviously it's a lot easier of a match to make with that, with all those things in consideration. But you know, like I said, KSI's got a very, very tough test first with Tommy, and everyone should just like focus on that because that's all that matters.
You're right.
It's a very, very tough fight, man. So you guys got to lock in on that one, and everything after that will take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's gonna have all the options in the world after that. You know what I mean? That's the one though. I mean, this is a big test. So but yeah, obviously KSI and Conor would be great. Jake and Conor would be great. Conor with anybody's great. He's massive. You know, he's such a great salesman. So there's no bad fights with Conor.
Yeah, the build up to that fight would be incredible. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Focus is on Tommy. We're gonna take that win within 3 rounds. KO. Move.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Hey, I'll be right there to congratulate him if he does that. That's a hell of a win. You know, it really is. So, full credit.
Yeah, there's definitely there's bonuses for the coaches as well, for sure. 3 rounds.
Nice.
That's the Urus bonus that's been set. So, all right, what do we think about kind of at this point, Logan Paul and Dillon Danis are stealing the show?
Yes.
The latest I've just heard is Dillon Danis is demanding to be the best man at Logan's wedding if he wins.
I saw.
I've got to give credit to Dillon, right? I don't really want to because the guy, you know, he's a nightmare. And I mean, I seen Michael Bisping the other day saying, you know, the reason Dillon keeps crossing the line is because he ain't a true fighter. He doesn't follow the code of fighters where there's certain things you just don't talk about. And I completely agree with Mike on that one. However, when he does pull it back, and he ain't posting pictures, you know, that he's been posting, and he just tries to be funny, he's very entertaining. And if he could just stay within those lines, I think we'd have a bit of a better feeling about the whole thing. But I don't know. You know, there's obviously those legal letters flying around, and I think when Logan gets in there, he is going to be raging to get his hands on Dillon. It's just whether or not Dillon shows up. Obviously, there's that thing. But look, Dillon is promoting the fight. We can't say he's not.
We're in the ring. Dillon's shown up. Logan, Dillon, well, they're not going to touch gloves. It's time to fight. Logan's going to be carrying that anger with him. Does that help or hurt?
I think it hurts. It hurts. End up trying too hard.
You know what? I think you might be a little off there, Leon, and 99% of the time I would agree with you. But if there's one thing I felt Logan struggled with against JJ was just not having the eye of the tiger, and maybe someone pissing him off may bring the dog out a little more.
That's true. You have a point. That's a very good point. Very good point. Yeah. But I think there's gonna have to be security around Danis as soon as he lands in the UK.
Oh,
honestly,
just wait.
Honestly,
just wait. There's definitely going to be security. We don't look. It's almost become predictable that at these face-offs they get into a scuffle, and it's how many times is that going to be entertaining? You know, I think it would be better if we actually don't let that happen if possible. And I agree that Logan, I think you know, I think he's going to take his anger out on him. I think it's going to be tough, but.
What about Conor McGregor training, Dillon? What do we make of that as an X factor? You know, if Conor McGregor's in the arena, not forgetting, we may have Tyson Fury in the arena as well, looking at with Tommy. I might be the one needing security, motherfuckers. They hate me, the pair of them. You know what I mean? Although,
yeah,
I'm
Brian,
looking for that social moment, so, you know.
I saw your interview with Fury. I watched the whole thing the other day. He got on a few words in the end there, huh?
Yeah, mate, it's the thing. He knows how to knock people out, but he's not so good at hanging the phone up, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to be star-studded. We're going to have all these guys there and more. I don't know what Andrew Tate's involvement is, but I know that Dillon and Andrew are talking. I don't know in what capacity.
They're probably just trying to see who can, you know, get these girls on the webcam and make the money. Do you know what I mean? Because Dillon's broke. He's trying to get on this Hustlers University course or something. It's probably all that's going on.
I could see that,
Dillon,
yes.
I don't know. I think Dillon has money. I don't know how, where, what, but
no.
He's not moved by the money as much, it seems. Otherwise, he wouldn't have
he's
pulled out
he's mad, isn't it? I think he's not there. He's got screw loose, isn't it? Some people are just like that. They got no code, don't care about the money. The money will come some way or another. He's just one of them guys, man, anomalies.
But look, I think we're all in agreement that he's provided entertainment, brought a buzz to the fight, but he has crossed the line. Like,
how does that make your job difficult, Mams, in regards to like the legalities and Logan and like, you know, what is it like for you to sort of handle this behind the scenes when legal letters are flying around?
It's fucking impossible. It's so awkward. And look, this is the honest truth. Just as a human being, when I speak to fighters, when I speak to different people, inevitably 99% of the time you find common ground and you start liking each other. You think, oh, that guy's a good bloke, you know? And then this good bloke is going up against another good bloke, and you're invested emotionally to some degree with everyone. You try not to, but you're like, oh, this guy's funny or whatever. And at the end of the day, of course, my loyalty is going to be with Logan. Logan's to me, my experiences with him have been really positive, really, even when things have come up in a very negative way. But when JJ was going to pull out of Prime a week before it was gonna go launch, Logan handled it with such composure and self-reflection and poise, and he was very calm about the whole thing. So that was the moment that Logan won me over, you know. And obviously, I put myself in his position. I'm newly engaged to someone, and suddenly this shit is going on the internet. So I feel for him as well, and I just don't know what I can do, because I want to keep the fight going, but at the same time I'm being pulled in all different directions. It's fucking
What
hard.
is the current situation with backup for is it still Rackman Jr.?
I've got to monitor his weight. He was 225 yesterday at a weigh-in, so he's got some weight to lose, but he is a big boy. It's not impossible, but
what is the weight limit?
195.
Gee,
there's no possible way he's making that. There's no possible way. I'm telling you, none.
We might need another backup for the backup.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
I know. So I'm speaking to Logan after this call and gonna go through a few things with him like that as well. The backup. So
I like Luke Rockhold as a suggestion as well. I think Luke Rockhold has got great potential in terms of this space. Hell of a charismatic guy, obviously former world champion. So by rights, he's the warrior out there who we could go and pick potentially. I know he's fighting in a jiu-jitsu tournament or something, so he's staying active, and also a 185er, probably similar height and frame to Logan. So that's an option maybe.
I spoke to his manager yesterday, and he would love to do the fight at 195. His walk around weight is a little above that, and it wouldn't be a difficult cut at all because he's fought at 185. He's got charisma. He's good on the mic. He brings a fan base. He's respected as a former UFC champ, right?
Yes, he was a hell of a champ as well. He looked unstoppable at one point.
One point.
And also, I think even if we don't, like, let's say he doesn't have this fight, I would love to see Logan fight him the fight after this if he wants. You know, I think that's a great fight. Or any YouTuber. It's a great guy to bring into the space.
Absolutely. What was the name of the guy he fought? The former army guy.
Oh yeah, Brian Stan.
No, someone else.
Oh, do you mean the guy who isn't it the one who beat Anderson Silva for the title to start off with? Who broke his leg?
No,
Anderson.
not shit. My memory. I swear, is it the same? After you hit 40, it like just starts. It's hard for me to remember anything.
In terms of is there anything else we need to cover? Obviously, well, there was. I mean, we've had a guy test positive. We've had the Slim situation. What should we cover next?
Let's go to the steroids. I think we're in
which is what Virus said apparently when they on the run up to this fight. We'll have the steroids, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then some. Yeah, he tested positive for a couple of things, didn't he?
What was it? Do you know?
Clenbuterol and test. I think.
Okay.
Very high levels of test. So.
You know what? That fight was a great fight, and I was really impressed. That was like a standout moment where he got dropped, came back, and won. And it's like, well, now we know. Now we know how you got you fucker. And I feel sorry for the guy. Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy who lost because he fought a great fight as well.
DK money.
He showed so much improvement, and I feel for him. I really do. I said, look, I've got to really stay out of it, but I suggested to Viruz, he said, what can I do? What do you suggest? I said, I suggest you give your purse and certainly the win bonus to DK money. I think that would be the right thing to do. And if you're really sorry, then, you know, it's easy to say you're sorry, but what are you doing that's accompanying those words with actions? So that's what I would do. And he has enlisted for the VADA program. He's paid the fine. I know that to the charity the PBA suggested, which is former boxers who go through health issues after. So that's a worthy cause. I can't remember the name of the charity, but he's taking the steps. He's got a 2-year ban, which would be reduced to 1 year if he does the VADA program. But I still think he should compensate DK money. That's my view on it.
Yeah, he should 100% as a man. If you're really sorry, you should.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I respect that he's taking those steps, but if he does take the step with DK money and he's rehabilitated and learned and won't do it again, obviously he'd be tested again, then after his ban, he'd have a place on Misfits. But if he doesn't do the right moral thing by DK, then I really don't have any interest working.
I've got a question for BJ here, because obviously you fought at the highest level, mate, and you know you're worried about this stuff in world title fights. But what do you make of the fact that we're now seeing influencer boxing infected with, you know, performance enhancing?
Well, I think, you know, everyone's looking for an edge and everyone's looking to get an upper hand. And especially when you take inexperienced people and put them into the equation, they haven't been boxing for a long time. They know that. They know they're lacking in some departments, and they try to overcompensate in the PED area. And that's something that I think we got to crack down on really hard. I think a 2-year suspension is good. I think you set a standard here, and you really, even if he's in the VADA program, I still think he should have to enlist in the VADA program regardless. I still think you stick him with the 2 years, because you can't let it be only 1 year when someone does something like this. When he knowingly did it, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an accident. I think you got to stick it to him hard with the 2 years. I think 1 year is too soft. And I feel like, you know, you got to really set the rule and set the law on this one, because people can get hurt. And it's already a dangerous enough sport, and you got to make sure everyone's doing the same, you know, following the same protocol.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I want to say for Misfits is there was a few comments going around about you know, oh, there's steroid use in Misfits and that, and it's like, no, the fact that we caught him proves that the tests work. Like, this is as bad as it is that he made this decision. That's not Misfits' fault. We caught him.
No.
The testing worked.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And it was actually Dean who went on Twitter Spaces and said, I know at least 5 Misfits boxers that are on steroids. And as soon as I heard that, I called him and I said, which 5? And he goes, what do you mean? He said, no, I just said 5 influencer fighters. And I said, no, you said 5 Misfits fighters. So who do you know that takes steroids? And he goes, no, bro, I was just trolling and I was having a joke. I said, that ain't funny.
No.
Yeah, it's not funny.
That's funny, you know.
Not funny at all.
No, and he redeemed it, and he went on his Twitter and said, "Look, guys, I was just joking. I don't know anyone who does steroids, but if you know, obviously, if anyone does that, it jeopardizes." The one thing is with Misfits Boxing, we're under so much scrutiny that it'll be 10 times worse for us if anything happens. So we have to be 10 times more stringent.
Yes,
I'll give Virus credit for one thing. Is in pro boxing we have a lot of people who piss hot, and they have every excuse. They hide away, they shy away, they don't admit what they did. Their lawyers come out, they get the bullshit statements, and it's the most obscure thing. You never find anything out. You, Mams, have just said straight away, here's what he did. He himself owned up to it and apologized. And as much as it's a terrible thing, at least we've got transparency and clarity of what's going on. Whereas pro boxing, you've got the highest level fighters piss hot, and you'll never know what they took, and they'll never admit it.
You're absolutely right. He gets credit for that. Yes, you're right. Because what are some of the weirdest excuses we've heard?
Eggs, fucking
egg.
Yeah, contaminated tests, and then
steak,
it's like, well, you
yeah.
failed 2 tests.
See?
Well, they were both contaminated. Jesus. No, I'll give Virus credit for admitting what he did and apologize, and like I think maybe that deserves some sort of leniency, you know. But yeah, I think BJ's got the right idea of you don't want to be too lenient, because then you're sort of making allowances. So yeah,
just give DK the bonus that you got, the $25,000 bonus. That's that's not earned. That's not earned. And DK earned it, and he had hospital bills of his own. So that's
Jesus.
I'm pretty firm on him. I can't legally demand he does it, but I think he should. That's all. That's all. All right. Slimity Slim. So there was a lot of talk about my unprofessionalism in the way I handled it. And obviously, look, it's a difficult situation. And I tweeted this. I said, look, I'm not going to go out there and go after anyone and be unprofessional unless it's to defend, or I don't know what the professional standard is for this. This is influencer boxing also, let's not forget. This is my office where is Super Mario Kart. I'm not in a suit and tie. I'm not behind a desk, behind a laptop, So it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be entertainment. Now, do I want to embarrass and humiliate Slim? Of course not. But do I want to make it be known that it is not Misfits Boxing that's being tight and not offering enough, and Misfits Boxing pays peanuts to people? That's just simply not true. So I never mentioned the amount of money. Others did, and I don't know how and who, but the amounts got out, and essentially it's difficult because people will think, oh, Slim's not fighting Salt Pappy because he's not getting offered enough money. So I think it's important to straighten that narrative out, and also let people know that if you're saying I'm going to beat everyone and I'll fight anyone, and then on the phone to me you're like, no, I don't want to take that fight, I think it's important to make an example of that to some degree, so people just say what they mean and mean what they say. But I do fuck up. I don't always get it right. Maybe there's certain things I could have toned down, and I'm always open to being better at that. The floor is yours, guys, and whatever you think, I'd be very curious about, just about the Slim situation in general as well.
What are you thinking, Leon?
I think this, because we spoke about this the other day. We had a video for the other day. I was saying that basically, when you ask for a title, you have to take the contender given to you. It's not one you can choose. I want the 165 title, and I want to fight, say, who can I say? Like Big Dave. If you're a champion and you believe you're Hitman, you believe you're the best, you fight the man in front of you. If the money's better and the money was better than your previous fights, and then the opportunity of fighting on the prime cards, it all makes sense. And you've had a layoff. So I think it's a case where him and his coaches didn't like the fact that he's going against Salt Pappy, and that's a dangerous fight for him, and he's going to potentially lose. Because I see his coach commented something along the lines of, well, Salt Pappy lost his last fight against AT, so he shouldn't fight us. He should rematch AT or whatnot. We're not here to fight losers or something like that.
Can we confirm roughly the percentage increase that he got on his fight offer from his previous fight? Was it 50% extra?
It's 50, potentially 100 with the win.
Right. Okay.
See?
So he'd accepted the previous offer, which was 50% less, roughly. My thing when I was hearing like secondhand in the group chat about the negotiations, where he just was not replying. He wasn't answering.
Yeah.
There was complete silence. So for me, bare minimum, when you have a working relationship with a company and they make you a very generous offer, even if you don't want to take that offer, to at least pick the phone up, have a conversation with the guy who's putting that money on the table for you, is bare minimum level of respect that you should give. So then for you to then feel the need to go on publicly and go, look, I've made the offer, I'm not getting anywhere, there's a deadline. If he doesn't make the deadline, we'll move on.
I'm on a Zoom call.
And then for that to pass and still nothing, and then the first time, to my knowledge, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mams, we get on Twitter and Slim is talking on Twitter about how he wants more money, but he hasn't even picked the phone up to you. Was that how it played out?
Yes. That's how it played out.
Okay, so when we talk about respect, if you want respect, you have to give respect. I'm not saying that everyone acted right. Like, KSI said some things as well. Like there was a lot, and I think, but for Slim, he couldn't have handled that worse, in my opinion. So it's kind of like you really could have come to the table in a better way, mate.
Yes, that's a really good point. And look, I'll defend KSI because he's not your traditional CEO of a company that's going to... It's KSI. He's fighting.
Yeah.
He's not trying to act like someone he's not. He's going to call you out. And that's kind of the landscape that we're in with the influencer boxing.
Yeah.
Everyone is transparent. Everyone calls each other out. And then suddenly, look, Wade and I have had some very positive and constructive conversations, to be honest. But I disagreed with him on that, holding Misfits Boxing to a standard of traditional boxing, which in traditional boxing it fails all the time, because I've seen Bob Arum say some absolutely outlandish things. I've seen
Bob Arum.
Dana White's Twitter early days was just pure it made Dillon Danis look like Mother Teresa. Like he was going mad on fans left and right. I've seen MVP's Twitter is arguing with fans left and right all the time. I just think when people have a lot to say, don't they? Just for no reason sometimes. I'm talking about fans on Twitter and this and that. But I wholeheartedly disagree with Wade saying that we should the promoter can't get involved. Like I can promise you guys, and I'm sorry I'm making this about me. I'm gonna veer off that. But as a promoter, I'm just someone who's a personality. I have a personality, and my personality is going to come out. If I was a conservative person, I would be conservative. I'm not just going to put it on for the sake of a role. That's all.
Yeah.
I think for Slim, sorry, mate. I'll let you go, Leon.
Okay, yeah. So in regards to Slim as well, it's like Misfits raised him, nurtured him, gave him so many opportunities, and changed his image. Because remember, he came from the dirty side of YouTube. He's allowed them to do commentating, etc. He's raised them up. So the whole thing of he gave him a deadline, which was good because people need to prepare for fights, and he just went AWOL. He didn't want to respond back to you, which is disrespectful. And you offered him 50%, potentially 100% more money. It's a win-win. It was a win-win for him. And then, as I was saying on my Twitter, next year, well, 2024, he would have been earning over 500K for that year if he played his cards right. So what does he want to do now? Miss this opportunity to fight on the prime card and maybe fight in 2024?
I think I don't want anyone to think that we don't all rate Slim. Like, he is one of my favorite fighters on Misfits. I love his character.
I believe he was the favorite to win.
Yeah, I think he probably would have been favorite to win, and we all wanted that fight to happen. But the money that you have on a budget is the money that you have. It's not like the reason why Misfits took a hard line is because they'd given him, from my knowledge, an offer that was the best that they could possibly get to immediately to try and make that fight happen. But I think the mistake he made is he's going, oh well, if you want the mega fight, then you're gonna have to pay for it. I'm like, bro, the mega fights are on the fucking card. It's Logan Paul and KSI. We could literally you could get homeless people to fight each other for the rest of the card. It wouldn't fucking matter, man. Like this, everyone is dying to be on this card. Bryce Hall is desperate to be on this card, and he is a way bigger star than Slim is in reality. So I just think like he forgot himself a bit, and by just totally ignoring Misfits, in not even picking the phone up, I just think that was and I say this respectfully, like man to man to him if he's listening, like, look, you're a great fighter, bro, but that's just not the way to move as a younger businessman. You got to move differently.
It's honestly, I believe it's his team, and that's where I feel really sorry for him. And
you know, it's
great. Yeah.
And see what we're all businessmen here. Who wouldn't like to close the year with an extra 200K in their pocket? Who wouldn't like to close the year with an extra 200K in their pocket? He's got dumb advisors.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, if he took that fight, let's say it was a banger of a fight, you could run it again. You might have
exactly.
Fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money in that, and the money increases with the excitement. But that's why I said, like, stock has gone down. And also, you're right, he could have prevented it by calling and saying, hey, Mems, Salt Pappy's style is not good for me, bro. Can we get me to fight someone else?
Right now.
I can't fight him. I don't want to. Honesty is received so well. Whenever, I swear, anytime, no matter what situation you're in, when you're honest and you're scared of the consequences, but just that honesty, you're surprised the other person's reaction is always receptive.
Yeah.
And then he would have been on the card, and let's not make any mistake. This is a star-making card. Like, all the eyes in the influencer world are on this card, and to be there is a prime spot, no pun intended. So you've just literally played yourself to the worst way. Like, and I don't know. I just hope he can listen to what we're saying and come back to the table and hopefully make some positive moves.
Yeah. And the thing is, what I've noticed lately, because the card is so big, I've noticed in Dillon Danis's social media growing because he's so active in promoting the fight. So it's growing massively and rapidly. So if you know you're on the card, you should be creating content so you can grab other people's fans and followers and make them your own.
Yeah. Exactly. Your brand deals, all of the stuff, whatever ancillary revenue you have. You want to put merch out. This is the time to do it. And it baffles me and it blows my mind how it's not just Slim, it's a lot of creators don't understand that this can help in so many other ancillary ways, you know?
Of course.
Astrid and El Brook, those girls, they understand that. I'll give them credit.
Yeah.
Every time they've been on a card, the extra content and everything else. And Elle told me her OnlyFans was up 800%. Fight week and the
crazy
week.
Yeah, crazy.
So, but moving on from that, let's see what else is on the agenda.
He looked a bit. He looked a bit clueless, if I'm honest. But like, I really rated his balls, just getting in there and doing his best, and it worked out for him. You know, even if it was an injury, fuck it. You've got a BKFC win. You know what I mean?
And he knocked the guy down. He knocked the guy down.
He did.
And his post-fight interview was great, but aside from that, he just did another interview, and they said, if you didn't get injured, how would you have done? He said, I would have lost. I rated that.
Oh, fully, mate. Yeah. I think the personality of this lad, like he has everything. He has everything that you want in a fighter on a Misfits card. He just doesn't really have the boxing skill yet. Hopefully that'll get there. But I just did a video before and I was laughing at, like, this is the luckiest guy I've ever seen in a boxing match. But you had to get in it to win it, and he was there, and the speech was magnificent.
Yeah, BJ and Leon, you guys should take him on together.
Aye.
That'd be a good link up.
Do you know, I laughed
Leon,
so much,
yeah,
right? I laughed so much at BJ in the group chat because Mam suggested this, and then BJ was like, I'm not taking them on. I was like, fucking had enough of these. I've had enough of YouTubers.
He's a nice kid though. I'm good friends with his manager. Bryce is a nice kid. He's not like what he seems like on YouTube at all. He's a really nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
Very sweet kid. Very sweet kid. He came to the party at Nashville, and honestly, very likable. I think he could really carry the flag in the future as well if his boxing skills matched.
I think that's a good shout. You know, for the you know, when maybe, I don't know if Jake and Logan and KSI, if it does come to the point where they're done, he's a good bet. If he can learn, if he can apply himself and really knuckle down, then yeah.
Yeah.
Mams, is the X the last card of the year?
No.
Okay.
No. We've got the pro tournament, $1 million winner.
Oh yeah,
Three fights.
When you looking at that, is that in November or December? You're planning to have
we're looking at November in the UK, but it could spill over to December.
What weight class is that?
That's 175.
Ooh. You know, I've got so that's like light heavyweight, right? Is that Is that light heavyweight?
Idris should be in that. Yeah, Idris should be in that ring.
Well, the winner of the Aaron Chalmers Idris fight will be in that.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
So
I've got a really good friend of mine who's on my show, who's a pro fighter, and has got a great story. So, you know, if you need anyone for that, he was on Team GB with AJ, had a injury. Well, he suffered from illness and wasn't able to compete for a while, and it's very hard to get back into it once you've been sort of pushed aside. Like, he was signed with Eddie Hearn for a bit, and he actually fought Dan Aziz. His only loss is to Dan Aziz, and that was on a decision. So I think he's probably the last guy Dan Aziz didn't knock out, and it was a very close fight. So yeah, if you need anyone, I've got a really good guy there who's and I'd be involved in like helping promote that on his behalf, free of charge, because he's like, I literally grew up with this guy. Like, he's like a brother to me.
Oh, for sure. I'll put the names that I've got in the group chat, and and then let's go from there. And yeah, anything is welcome. And even for this 009 card, look, there's probably going to be a couple of changes from now until it happens, if my experience tells me anything. So if you guys have suggestions or anything as well, please feel free. And then,
yeah, and I've got a big Newcastle audience as well. So if you need us to, like, you know, push it or whatever, I can say it to everyone in Newcastle. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. I'll just shout out the window. That'll do it.
Bro, just come and fight. Come and fight. Come and take a nice fight, a little sparring session in there.
Just bring Conor McGregor out. That'll do it.
Have line up Georgie against Godson.
Godson, yeah. You'd get that win, I think, Bri.
Bro, I need to start jogging then.
Okay. Anything else, you guys?
No, good.
Yeah, I think we got some really good topics in today, and I think what we've said is important for people to hear. Like the steroid situation, the slim situation, these are things that people have, a little bit of narrative's been created out there, and I hope that we've sort of put that to bed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mams, on the pro card, will any influencers be fighting on there, or is it just strictly pros?
Might have one influencer fight on there. I'm not sure yet, but but I think so you guys know it's 3 threes for the pro card, but you have to win 3 fights in one night in order to win the tournament. So essentially the winner and the runner-up do 9 rounds or less, depending if
can you explain how the money is dealt out? As in, like, so you said $1 million winner?
Yeah, it's stakes, $1 million tournament, and stake will give $1 million to the winner in the ring. They get a big fat check for $1 million, right?
Okay, old school, yeah.
What will the other guys be paid just for turning up as well, or is that?
They get paid something for turning up per round.
Yeah.
Yes. So they get something, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some names attached right now. I'll send you in the group that they've expressed that they're going to do it. So the process with me is like, do you want to do this? Yes, I do. Speak to them, speak to their team, make sure it's legit. 50% of the time, it doesn't happen for whatever reason. And then the other 50% of the time, a contract is sent out to them. And then from that 50%, another 10% drops out. It's like, what's that show? The Korean one? You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Fucking that Netflix show.
Yeah, the massive. How are we forgetting the name of it?
Fucking mate, brain damage, man. When is the Misfits Pro card?
November or December, but probably late November.
Uh-huh.
Squid Games.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, Squid
Games. Yeah, so that's a pro card. We look like we might have another card as well. So there's quite a few. But that other card is going to be centered on Spanish influencers because it should be in Spain.
Okay.
So it's a shame Viruz did what he did because he'd have been on that card for sure. But anyway, yeah, I think we covered everything. Thank you guys as always, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Cheers.